Why was Jungkook secretly picked up by his family before military discharge? Tensions rise between his family, military, and Big Hit. Here's what we know so far. Why would a global superstar be taken away under secrecy before the official date of his military discharge? What happened behind the scenes that led Jungkook, BTS's youngest and arguably most private member, to be suddenly picked up by his extended family before the final curtain of his mandatory service fell? And why has neither Big Hit Music nor military officials provided a clear explanation? The South Korean military is known for its discipline, its structure, its precise chain of command. One does not simply leave early, especially not a celebrity under constant public scrutiny. Yet, sources confirmed early this morning that Jungkook's extended family, not just his immediate relatives, arrived unannounced at the military base where he had been stationed. Eyewitnesses say he was quietly escorted out, surrounded by a somber and tight-lipped entourage, and taken away in a black tinted van just 35 days before his expected discharge. This unexpected move has sent shockwaves through army fandom and media circles alike. So, what's really going on? Speculation has begun to mount, fast and furiously. Why would a figure as disciplined and respected within the military ranks as Jungkook suddenly be removed in such an unusual manner? Was this a family emergency? Or was it something deeper, something uncomfortable between his family, military officials, and Big Hit Entertainment? Could this be the first visible crack in the pristine relationship between BTS and the institutions they've long been loyal to? Jungkook, widely seen as the golden magne of BTS, has long upheld an image of integrity, responsibility, and humility. His military service, like that of his fellow bandmates, has been lauded for its sincerity and lack of preferential treatment. But this latest development is raising serious eyebrows. If everything was proceeding smoothly, why the sudden departure? And why now? Insiders close to the military confirmed that there had been no official change in discharge protocol. Jungkook was scheduled to complete his service on time, with a final evaluation and exit ceremony just weeks away. No prior record had been made of any injury, illness, or personal emergency. His records showed commendable behavior, full participation, and even high scores in physical and weapons training, despite his recent hospitalization due to exhaustion. That incident, just days earlier, had already raised concerns, but nothing seemed to suggest a need for early dismissal. Until now, sources at the base described the atmosphere as tense the morning Jungkook was picked up. One junior officer, speaking anonymously, claimed that orders came from higher up, but no one wanted to take responsibility. It was clear something unusual was going on. Meanwhile, fans noticed a sudden social media silence from the remaining BTS members, who had been regularly updating followers about their own activities. Speculation that something was brewing began to surface when Jungkook's older brother deleted a cryptic Instagram story that read, "Family comes first. Always has, always will." The post was up for less than 15 minutes, but screenshots spread like wildfire. Could this early pickup have been planned without Big Hit's approval? Industry insiders say, in fact. One anonymous entertainment journalist reported that Big Hit was completely blindsided by the move. "They were informed after the fact," said the source. "There was no coordination. That's why they haven't released a statement. They're scrambling to understand what's really happening." And here's where it gets even more complicated. Documents have emerged, reportedly leaked from someone within the military administration, showing that Jungkook's family had requested a private consultation with military command 2 weeks ago. The reason? Unclear, but the timing cannot be ignored. Some believe that Jungkook had been under significant psychological strain following a series of intense training exams and the previous collapse during weapons testing. Others suspect an internal dispute between Big Hit and Jungkook's family over how his post-military image and comeback should be handled. Specifically, concerns that his health and privacy were being compromised in the rush to plan his grand return. The theories are endless, but they all point to one burning question. Did Jungkook's family feel the need to intervene, perhaps even against his will? What we do know is this: Jungkook is no longer on base. He is not in military custody. And neither the military nor his agency seems to be in control of the narrative anymore. What kind of family meeting prompts a retrieval this urgent? Who gave the final go-ahead for the military base to release him? And most importantly, what does this mean for Jungkook's future with BTS? Until we get official answers, all we can do is wait. But the silence from Big Hit is deafening. The military's refusal to answer questions from reporters only fuels more confusion. And fans, caught in the emotional tug-of-war between concern and curiosity, are left trying to connect the dots of an unfolding mystery. Could Jungkook's early exit mark a shift in his relationship with the agency? Was this a last-minute decision spurred by health or personal breakdowns? Or is this the beginning of a deeper rift between celebrity power and institutional control? We will continue to investigate this developing story as new facts emerge. But what adds an even heavier layer of emotional weight is the growing silence from Jungkook himself. Where is Jungkook now? Since being seen leaving the military base, there have been no official sightings, no photos, no statements. Sources close to his family refuse to comment. Even fans who have kept close watch on his known family homes report no visible signs of activity. This level of secrecy is not just rare. It's unprecedented for someone as high-profile as Jungkook. Some believe he has been moved to a private retreat far from Seoul, possibly outside the country altogether, under strict family protection. Others insist he is receiving medical care in a private facility, mental or physical, no one is certain. But the most chilling theory suggests he may have suffered a breakdown, and this intervention was not just familial, it was urgent. Could the collapse during his recent weapons exam have been more than just physical fatigue? Military insiders now hint that there were subtle warnings. Moments where Jungkook appeared detached or uncharacteristically quiet, even for someone with his naturally introspective demeanor. One anonymous source stated, "He wasn't just tired. He looked like someone carrying the weight of more than just the military." The emotional toll of fame. The burden of being the youngest in the biggest boy band in the world. The pressure to return stronger than ever after service, with eyes from across the globe watching and waiting. Could it all have reached a breaking point? The possibility that Jungkook's early release was triggered by mental exhaustion or a deeper personal crisis is gaining traction. It would also explain the eerie silence from Big Hit, a company typically meticulous in its crisis communication. They may not know the full story themselves. And what about the military? Military PR has been firm in denying any irregularities. But the abruptness of Jungkook's exit, without a formal process, without even a farewell, speaks volumes. Is this a rare instance of deference to celebrity? Or is something more human and more heartbreaking at play? For fans, the concern is no longer about when Jungkook will return to stage. It's about whether he's okay. Social media is flooded with emotional tributes, theories, and pleas for answers. Hashtags like hashtag Where is Jungkook, hashtag Protect Jungkook, and hashtag Jungkook Come Back Stronger have trended globally for days. Even public figures and celebrities have begun asking questions. Yet amid this outpouring, something more intimate is happening within the fandom. Armies around the world are uniting in silent support. Digital candlelight vigils, letters posted online, fans revisiting old videos of Jungkook's smiles, his passion, his dreams. Because now it's not about stardom, it's about the person behind it. And that's what makes this moment so fragile that if Jungkook, someone known for his strength, discipline, and drive, has reached a limit, what does it say about the system around him? About how we treat idols, soldiers, and human beings? The next days will be crucial. Will Big Hit finally speak? Will Jungkook's family make a statement? Or will we continue to watch in silence as one of the world's most beloved artists disappears from view, perhaps for his own healing? But with so many questions left unanswered, one thing is clear. Something happened that forced a line to be crossed, and the world won't rest until the truth is revealed. And then, out of nowhere, ripple through the silence, Kim Taehyung, known as V from BTS, posted a single black image on his Instagram story with no caption, no music, no words, just black. It stayed for only an hour. But for ARMY, it said everything. Shortly after, Jimin unfollowed over a dozen accounts, including several known to be affiliated with entertainment journalists and influencers tied to Big Hit's PR wing. His social media activity became erratic, liking fan posts, then unliking them, posting a throwback picture of Jungkook from their debut year, only to delete it minutes later. What's happening between the members? Something's off. Sources close to the group suggest that internal tensions may be rising, not between the members themselves, but between the group and the management that oversees their every move. They weren't told, a former staffer claimed. None of them knew Jungkook will be picked up early. Some are angry, some are scared, but mostly they're in shock. The member who has remained the most silent? RM, leader of BTS. The man who has held them together through crises and comebacks. He has not posted, not commented, not even been seen in public. He is, according to one anonymous acquaintance, in conflict between being an artist and a soldier right now. Could it be that even BTS themselves were left out of this decision? If so, this is more than a family crisis. This is a communication breakdown at the highest level. Fans are starting to question what role Big Hit really plays in the lives of these 7 men. Do they still have autonomy? Are their voices heard? Was Jungkook, even in uniform, still being treated like a product instead of a person? And what about the alleged tension with his family? Here's where it gets even darker. Multiple insiders have now hinted at long-standing disagreements between Jungkook's parents, particularly his uncle, a powerful figure in his extended family, and Big Hit executives. These disagreements reportedly revolve around how Jungkook's future will be shaped after Discharge. Solo career focus versus group comeback, creative freedom versus strict contract renewal terms, and even personal health protections. Some say this early pickup was not just about health. It was a form of intervention, a quiet rebellion against the pressure machine that Jungkook's uncle, reportedly a former military man himself, had been quietly observing the situation. It was he who first requested the private meeting with the base's commanding officers. It was he who allegedly called in favors. And it was he who escorted Jungkook into that black van. Why? Because according to one chilling report, he didn't trust anyone else to protect Jungkook. Not the agency, not the army, not even the public. And that raises a terrifying question. Was Jungkook in danger, not from others, but from the system itself? The system that pushes idols past breaking points. The system that expects perfection, no matter the cost. The system that celebrates their tears on stage, but doesn't stop to ask why they're crying in the first place, that we may never get a clear answer. Not now, but the signs are there, in the silence, in the black posts, in the tears fans are holding back every time they replay his last performance video. This isn't just about one idol leaving early. This is about the hidden wounds that even the brightest stars carry. The pain behind the perfection. The pressure that doesn't end when the cameras turn off. And yet, even through the chaos, one thing remains certain. Jungkook is loved by BY's members, by his family, by millions, and wherever he is, whatever he's facing, we hope he knows that. Because sometimes the bravest thing a person can do isn't finishing strong. It's knowing when to step away and breathe. The world is waiting, Jungkook, but more than anything, we hope you're healing.